Hello and welcome to the Glittervoid Podcast. I am your host, Jubilee, Titan of Joy.
I'm Deena, the other one. We're on camera.
We're doing cameras. We're trying this out, and
Yeah.
well, it's good because I can just make eye contact with myself, and it looks like I'm reading a script, which I also am, because I'm, if nothing else, a consummate internet professional.
I don't believe you. Not even slightest.
So, Deena, what gene seeds are you splicing this week?
What?
What's something that made you happy in or out of the hobby?
I've got a list right now. I bought a house.
Oh,
Um,
like to
yeah,
kit
that's
bash
where
with
I've
or
been.
what? Like
Technically,
some.
yes. I'm doing a bunch of kit bashing right now. By moving everything that I own into various parts of this house.
Oh
This
my
is my
God,
house.
IRL kit bashing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to visit it this last weekend, and it's delightful.
It is. We got the fun picture of you with my chainsaw. Yes, that is my chainsaw in that picture in my office, where I'm currently sitting for this recording.
What
Um,
office would be complete without a chainsword?
Not mine. But yeah, I moved in. Took a lot out of me getting in here. Got situated, and then about a week later, I found out my sister needed a place to go, so she's currently asleep on my couch.
Convenient time for you to get a house. That is
Exactly.
wonderful. But hey,
What about you?
you
What is
told me you
your
wanted to die in that house, so now you never have to move again. That must be nice. I've moved 15 times in my adult life.
I'm probably pretty close. I moved every other year at minimum since I
Oof.
graduated high school.
Oh my God. Yeah, you might actually have me beat.
Sometimes more than once a year. So yeah, what is your gene seed of splicing today?
For me, it's been kit bashing and like really like full blown like pile of literal trash um kits from multiple game systems, garbage that's literally been in my hobby room box for like 6 or 7 years. I went on a massive kit bash for a project I'm working on. And usually I say kit bash and I'm like, we're gonna get a little fancy with the arms, or I want a different gun in this hand. And I'm like, there, kit bashing goddess. But there is. So I took I should have had the box. I should have had the box or the model ready. But I took the mount for Alariel, the Everqueen, the giant bug, and I probably spent the last week or so, probably spent at least a solid week, and like the bug was completely built, ready to go, trying to get it to fit from its 180 mil base to 100 mil base. Um, so trying to bend certain parts of the joints because they're all glued together at this point together, and then I distressed the outside, drilled a bunch of holes, have a bunch of tentacles coming out. I have a bunch of tree branches and skulls hanging from it. I've got spots for someone to stand on her back eventually, and I finished that a couple days ago, and I painted the whole thing up in like 3 days.
And you've been
And
working that on your lives, right?
yeah. I've been painting on the lives. I wasn't really kit bashing there because I was like in and out, and it was just I wasn't really back in the habit of doing lives after my winter trip. But the I had multiple people go. I think I was kit bashing for one live, and someone was like, "You look spectacularly happy." Which is funny because I don't like building traditionally. I don't like building a box of miniatures. Like, it's always fun to crack one open, but I get like 2 miniatures into the 10 and go, okay, I'm over this. I want to paint now. So yeah, kit bashing has really
Yo,
been doing it for me.
I feel that pain of wanting to, or like just wanting to get painting. Um, and I guess this is a good subject we could talk about. The new Demons detachments got me really excited to the point that I went out and bought a bunch of Slanesh demons,
Hell yeah.
and then I built them all. So I have most of them right here.
Hell yeah. Pause. Something's happening and I need to go figure out what it is.
And sorry about that. Yeah, I got really into the Slanesh and I had a lot of fun building them, and I've got them
Hell
all
yeah.
right here. And like this is not Slanesh, I'm
Oh,
just using it as a stand-in. but these have been some of the most fun models I've built in ages. These are the fiends.
Hell yeah.
Um, and
Had
they're
you
like
not built any
really
before?
enticing. Never, never did a fiend.
Oh,
Um, but they were a lot of fun. And then I started working on getting my paint scheme right, and I got this one here. I don't know if you can actually see it.
hell yeah.
I'm really excited to get these done and getting back into painting after basically getting maybe a model a week at most for the last like 2 months.
Hell yeah.
Um, but that's a good thing we can touch on. What are your thoughts on the data slate and the new detachments?
So I fell into I almost the opposite problem of a painting hole because I was getting really, I think it was right after Thanksgiving, I had been getting super into Biosanctic Brood Surge, but I was also like, and part of me was like, okay, I really want to get this done because I'm coming up on having had most of a Gene Stealer army for almost a year at this point, and I was like, I got to get this painted. I'm a good painter. I can cut some corners. And so I was like, I want to get this painted as quickly as possible. And I had a lot of the difficult parts done. I had all the neophytes I will ever need painted, hopefully, maybe. But and so in like about a 5 week period, I painted 30 Pure Strain Gene Stealers, 10 Aberrants, like 5 or 6 characters, 3 vehicles, and 15 acolytes in at a pretty decent level with some good basing. And a couple of the characters have super elaborate bases too.
That's a lot of painting.
It's a lot of painting on a really tricky army. Like the pure strains were actually not that hard. I kind of just did them all in one color. Um, and it was kind of a fun, my painting has gotten to such a level that when I looked at how long it had taken me originally, I was like, this is going to take me 2 years to paint. But I was like, no, you can make your time more efficiently spent rather than making everything a spectacular work of art. And they still look really nice. Like they're vibrant pink. The green pops. The bases are a little drab, but they're pink, green, and blue Gene Stealers. They don't need to be that elaborate. I also figured out like I painted a Gene Stealer truck, like about 90% of it in about 15 minutes because I figured out a really good patina recipe that really works for me. And I was like sitting there going, I was like, it was all these little things that I like kind of knew but had never painted anything large, and I was like, my God, this truck is going to be a nightmare to paint. There's so much detail. And I was like, well, I will just paint it all in the patina and then detail until I'm happy with it or bored of it. So rather than getting bored with it halfway through a completed thing, I can have it all painted a color, like, and not even just like a base color, but like an elaborate color. So I've got very dirty, very rusted up vehicles for my Gene Stealer Colt. And then they nerfed both of my armies pretty bad. I haven't actually looked at the
Yeah,
I cannot bear to look at it, but I was like, well, this will help me focus on building my Death Guard because I was like, they hit sisters really hard. They need it, they deserve it, but I will see you at the next day.
yeah, you earned that one. Not you specifically, but you
Yeah, like
sisters
nah.
players as a whole.
Well, that's what's embarrassing is I had a top 3 tier army. I think right before the Miracle Dice, and I think right before Grotmas started actually. I think Death Guard, Gene Stealers, and Sisters were in the top 5, and my
Sounds
understanding is
about right.
they've all plummeted. Um, I heard Death Guard was down to like 35% or something, but I don't know if that was.
What's that?
It was a thumbnail for the for another podcast that I saw, and I was like, oh my God, is that true?
I saw something about Death Guard being really good with the new detachment. Um, like I don't remember what changes. I know that you were mentioning that Sister the and G Steelers both got hit really freaking hard right out the
Yeah.
gate. And then like didn't even look at the new detachment because they weren't going to be able to do a whole lot to adjust that. Um,
Well, I will say that
but
like,
the new
go ahead.
so the new Death Guard seems like it would be a really good like tools, at least new interesting tools to try with Death Guard, especially
Yeah,
the way that you tend to like to play things. You really do favor infantry a lot of the time.
I do. Yeah, I don't like vehicles. I drive professionally. I don't want to drive for fun.
I don't want tiny little trucks. Here, can I interest you in a chariot?
No, no, thank you. For some reason, is there a bigger? Is there a huge chariot that's like okay? I was like, those don't seem as
So
elaborate as the ones I've seen.
there are three different chariots that all get built out of the same kit, and one of them is literally if you buy the Exalted Seeker Chariot kit, it's the really big one. But the construction of it is actually two of the smallest ones stacked on top of
Oh,
each other.
nice. Can you
So
magnetize them
I
so they
got
could both?
I wish, dear God. Like it's literally so much so that that's literally what I did. Like I have this one, and here's the other one. So they would sit like this on this base, rotate at 90 degrees, and then sit on top of it. It's wild, just like the
Jesus,
size difference between a exalted sleeper chariot and a regular sleeper chariot, and excuse me, the fact that they're on the same base is just so silly to me. Um,
yeah. I was
but
trying to
the
get
new seeker chariot, go ahead.
I was like I was saying, I had to bend Shelly's claws like back like this because I even Mortarian's base has I think I was gonna hide that, but Mortarian's base has two wedges of stone, and I put them both pointing forward and wrapped her claws around it, and still one of them is kind of just hanging off the edge to try to get her to not look like she's like I don't know, like tiptoeing like this. I still wanted her to have an interesting pose, but she's seriously like splayed out on the humongous base. And now I will get to craft something completely bespoke for Alariel at some point on that humongous base because she's just a
Yeah.
little gal.
And does he or does she not have wings? I can't remember.
Yeah, she is winged. They're I have them actually right here. They're big, but I mean she's not she herself might be a little bit bigger than like Celestine because this is
All
taller
right,
than a
it's not
space
bad.
marine right here.
Oh
But her
yeah,
wings are about the same.
she looks like she'd be a fun model to do stuff with. Just
Yeah.
put her on one big base and just make it like a decorative scene, like
Well,
a
I thought it would be
pool.
really funny. I thought it'd be really funny to get two and magnetize her foot and make one that's literally her just like in the middle of like do a fairly elaborate but a very simple, completely flat green field with like one stump that she stands on, and then like go, okay, ready for battle, and then you switch her off onto another base that is like, I don't know, like some tectonic activity or something has happened or a pool has opened up or something. Then we're like,
That would be cool.
oh, this idiot clearly used their bug, and now they've just got this simple little base. It's technically legal,
I
but
have an idea on what I would do with Alariel if I was just to build Alariel as a single like full scale Alariel with just the Alariel herself, and just like have her sitting above a pool of water, like
oh,
kind
that's
of like she's
exactly what I was
floating.
thinking of. Well, because she's got this one foot. Where's her other leg?
Mhm.
I don't know how. Where are you? Where's your leg, girl? Must be on a different one. But no, I was
Now I just
thinking
want to
of
do this.
yeah. Well, and on my way home today, I did buy some UV resin that I'm gonna be playing with. Because like she could be like
Oh,
if you could somehow get her second foot just to make sense floating right there, like if her weight is on that one foot, she could just be standing in the middle and you could have ripples going out. I thought
I
about
love
doing
UV
like a four
resin. I've got it.
seasons,
Ooh, that would be really cool.
all four seasons on there. Or it would be something gigantic, like I said, the idea of her standing atop a like cliff that is like jutted out into like with lots of what I'm saying? Like it's like tectonic activity, like this huge spike of stone has like stabbed up through the beautiful like you could have a 1-2 little thing where you've got the pretty little the pretty little field that she's standing in the middle of with little get those
You're
little
making me want to
squirrels and
do
stuff.
this as a like golden demon entry,
Hell yeah.
and then I would have to figure out what do I want to do with the beetle.
Give it to me.
Or another beetle.
Typhus would look so fucking cool on her back, on Shelly's back, because he's just like,
Just the
yeah, yeah.
That's such a fucking badass pose. I uh, I don't even know where I would fucking put that model right now. Now that I think about it, I don't have any space still.
Oh, you gotta,
My shelves are just like not quite properly where I want them to be, uh, and I've got a bookshelf on its way to try and help with that. But I just got boxes of stuff that I need to like put away.
yeah. That'll
Um,
never that will take a while. I had a house for 4 years, and there were boxes that never got unpacked.
I mean, I've only got like 6 or 7 boxes left, and most of
Show
them are
up.
books.
There you go.
I didn't have a lot to begin with. I think the whole trip was maybe 15 to 20 boxes total, and most of it was models because
Right?
I play this game way too fucking much.
No, really?
Yeah, I've actually been pivoting into another kind of like old side game, just because our local community kind of got this Mordheim bite to it. So we started a Mordheim campaign, and
Ooh,
I've wound up building a couple war bands, playing a bunch, and just like building new things. And it's kind of been giving me a like small skirmish game narrative fix.
nice.
Because I found there's a lot of difficulty, specifically in areas that are run heavily by game store involvement. Um, your local area doesn't have like none of the stores have space to play. So
Yeah,
your game space and your club spaces are put on by independent people who found the way to do it. Here we have so many different stores that can house games at any point in time. So a large portion of those like crusade leagues, narrative kill team leagues, those types of things are a lot of fun, but when they are managed by a business, they wind up being a thing of profit for the business, and so they charge money to get into them,
hmm,
which immediately makes me do either I'm not interested or I'm paying money, now it's a competition, and that's not
yeah.
fun for me and fun for anyone else. So a bunch of random people went, "Hey, we're getting into more time. You should come play with us." And it's filling that like narrative fix that I've been looking for a long time,
Oh yeah.
where we get to do silly things, and we're all writing lore about what our stuff is, um, to the point where my sorceress now has a bounty on her head because she has accidentally barbecued 3 or 4 Skaven in a single spellcast before, and the main Skaven player went, "I'm kill that wizard."
Chill that
Uh,
wizard.
it's a lot of fun. Anyone who's interested in playing it, it's just classic Mordheim. We got 3D print or not 3D printed, like reprinted versions of the old rulebook. Someone ordered them for our community. They were like $10. Absolutely great to do. Um, and it's been just a lot of like very casual fun. Especially when we get a big group together and play big, massive games that take like an hour.
Oh,
Six
that would
people
be
at one
nice.
table takes an hour. Because normally apocalypse scale games take days, fucking
Yeah, I can't
days.
imagine.
Um, Theoretically, before my sister moved in, I had a bunch of plans on getting a bunch of people up here to see the house and play an apocalypse game. But now I don't have just me here, so the space gets a little bit more limited. So eventually we'll do another apocalypse game here,
Hell yeah.
and you should come for that.
I've got a couple of
I
armies
love big
now.
scale. Yes, I love big scale games. They're some of the most entertaining things to do. I think you need to have a good group of people for them to really excel.
To
Because
make it,
if I'm going to
again,
sit,
to keep it from getting too competitive.
not even saying it gets too competitive. Like we have, they do a Horus Heresy mega battle once a year here. Um, And like I don't like Heresy that much. It's just not a game for me. Though I might just be picking up a Heresy army in the near future because it's Emperor's Children, and it'll just give me useful bits for the incoming Emperor's Children. So that's a possibility that might be happening. Um, and like it's anyone can play. It's like it's a $20 entry, and they literally rent out a gym to host this
Wow.
event. Um, and last year I think there were 20 people in it. And I would hate that because that means anyone can be there, and it's not the people I want to spend the time with. So
So you spend
I
two
think
days playing
Apocalypse
a game.
Games, yeah, spend 2 days playing a game with random fucks. It's not as like appealing to me as going, you're my friend, you're my friend, you're my friend. I would like you to come and bring every model you have. We're going to play a giant game. Which is my favorite way to do it. I think my ideal number is four. Four players at probably 4,000 points. It's just a good round like setup for it. I think
4,000
is
per person?
most, yeah,
Or
4,000 per person. And four players I've done five at 3,000, and that was very doable. Sorry, three players at 5,000, not five at three. And that was probably the most enjoyable one I've had, but it would have been probably more interesting with more people. But it's a lot of like back and forth, and you want to make sure to establish your understanding of how the combat mechanics work, like who fights when, in what turn order, in a multi-player combat situation. Um, so melee armies get really saucy because they theoretically get like four fight phases.
uh, Biosanctic Brood Surge, let's go. I definitely don't I don't have 3,000 points of Gene Stealers. Unless
Nah,
I do the new detachment, which of all the Grotmas ones, that was one I kind of called. I mean, I don't think it was that unobvious, but I remember being like, no, it's gonna be Nid. It's gonna be big monster Nids,
but
Nid allies.
I all I know about it is I get a text message from you that day going, I don't like it.
I mean, it's like, well, one, it's gonna be tricky to like. I think it is very fluffy and very flavorful. I don't know if it's competitive. I don't think it is. Mainly because Gene Stealers just die so great. Ideally, you can have big monsters camped with little Gene Stealers around, and the big monsters can eat the Gene Stealers to get they like can destroy Gene Stealer models to gain health. Um, and so
Interesting.
I think the monster, I don't remember, I'm assuming it's the monsters benefit from being uh, near Gene Stealer units, or I think the Gene Stealers get inspired by the big monsters around them. So they fight a little good. And I think a lot of people were like, three Norn emissaries, and then I think that's too many points, but like Norn emissaries and lots of infantry around them just to
How many points is it up to? Is it 500 or is it 1,000?
it's probably 1,000, but I don't know for sure.
Because if it's 1,000, you could do three normal series, like, really. But you can't do it.
Am
So
I
they're
gonna
like
look this up on?
230. They're the 200 range. They're not knights. Um, yeah. Grotmas was definitely disappointing for you, exciting for me, except for
Yeah,
the
and
first one
that's
that
fine.
came out. I, I haven't had an entire codex this entire edition.
I know, you poor
At
thing.
least let me.
And now it looks like I
But
might literally get a third cut up because I heard Death Guard is rumored to be coming up very soon.
so there's a lot of speculation, and I'm not 100% sold on it, but I can see the logic, and I don't necessarily disagree that the four detachments for demons is the codex. We're not getting a book anytime soon, if ever at all. Um, but the individual demons um, might just get rules into their corresponding detached factions, in addition to the indexes that we have. The only thing that I wish we got as part of that was um, the Imperial agents treatment as far as points. don't make me pay the the cost for the sins of the allies. Let me just take whatever I want at their appropriate point value for what they are, and don't make me charge an extra 20 points because I could theoretically put it into Chaos Space Marines.
Sure.
That's the one thing that I would like to see out of it. But all four of them are at least interesting. Have you looked
That's
through them
cool.
at all?
No, and I also don't know demons super. Like, I think I looked at one and then was like, wait, I don't know if that's like again because I don't know what demons really do so very much.
So the Zeech one is interesting, and I think you'll actually get a kick out of how it works. It's probably not good, but it's one of those that like it is so severely player skill dependent that I think we're not going to see a lot of people do well with it. But if we do, it's the people who've been playing Zeech Demons for the last 20 years. So what it is your rule is that you get three basically dice that you can use as a reroll for almost anything. But when you use one, you give that die to your opponent, who then gets to reroll. So they basically trade free rerolls back and forth with your opponent.
Oh, he also gets to reroll.
Yeah, so it's the like, all right, I have three dice. I'm going to reroll this save against your thing. You hit me. Now you get that marker, and then you can reroll something else. And when you do it, you give me back my reroll, and we go back and forth with it. If at any
Interesting.
point in time at the beginning of your turn, your opponent has any number, you automatically get one. And then there's an enhancement that gives you a second one. So you could actually get up to 13 very easily if you
Oh, because the
play the
number
game.
increases as you play. It can increase as you
hmm
play.
Yeah. And then all of the
Interesting.
stratagem. Yeah, this is where it gets interesting because the stratagems all have a pay a fate token or whatever they're called to your opponent, get an extra thing. One of which is like +3 strength or +2 strength, and then +1 AP if you spend a token.
Jesus.
One of them is you can take your like infantry and fire into melee as though you had pistol. And then the one that makes it interesting is they have a uppy downy strat that can happen while they're in melee.
Whoa,
It's,
that's
it's
huge.
you get one or two that can be in melee if you spend the fate token. So it's up, and you go, they can charge you, like cool, bye, fuck off.
So, what stops your opponent from just immediately spending those dice to keep them in your hand?
Then you get more rerolls. Every reroll they spend, you get. So I reroll a save, you go and reroll a hit. Now I get that dice back to reroll another save.
Oh, so like basically they can hold on to the three and stop you from having those, but next turn you're gonna get three? Is that how that works?
So if your opponent at the beginning of your turn, if your opponent has any 1, 2, 5, 7, doesn't matter. If they have any, you automatically get one. And then there's an enhancement that you can take that gives you a second one.
Damn. That's really
And
that's really interesting. It kind of gets does it at all scratch the itch of now I've got a new game like I've got a new little mini game to play that Psychic Phase took away.
yes, but I think the Slanesh one does that specifically better.
Awesome.
Um,
How's that one work?
So the Slanesh one has two keywords, two things. One, they army-wide fall back and charge. Not fall back and shoot, but fall back and charge. Second, when you complete a charge move with a Slanesh demon, you can choose to give up fight first. In exchange, you
Right.
get full rerolls to hit and wound.
Fucking ridiculous.
It's insane. So it becomes the do I play the gamble? Do I do this? Do I let you do that? And that's why the fiends are really good because they have the Nurgling -1 to hit aura and dev
Because you're
wounds
not
and
doing
5 attacks per model.
demonettes and hoping that they survive their 5-up save is gonna save them.
Not exactly. There's actually a stratagem that makes Demoness work. And also, Slanesh has a lot of devastating wounds. So reroll to wound is huge.
Yeah,
Um,
Jesus.
I I charged a land fortress into the one game I've played with them so far with Demonettes, and like they bonked in and hit me for like two models. I lost two models. I turn around and go, here's seven devastating wounds.
Oof.
Um, but so the stratagem is you pick another unit within 12 inches, and any damage that the main unit would take, that second unit takes it instead, in the form of mortal wounds.
Right.
So you could put it on
Okay.
something that feel no pain, and just soak all the damage that way. Um, and I watched a game play video the other day where they were running the contorted epitome, which gives a 4 of feel no pain versus mortals, as just something that you could redirect your as like a thing that goes, all right, this unit is going to beat my target. They have a
Nice.
second defensive stratagem though, which is I think the big thing, and it's basically you get the changeling's effect of you're either -1 to hit or you can't shoot me at all. Um, but it's make a battle shock test at -1. If you succeed, you're -1 to hit me. If you fail, choose a new target.
Wow.
Um, the whole detachment is just very silly, and I'm looking forward to playing with it more.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds cool.
just like rerolls are the thing that I have missed out of while playing demons, and the whole detachment just is chocked full of them. And they're very fast. They're like a jail list that dies. Because you can run Seekers, which are a Scout 9, Move 14, rerolls to advance or charge. Um, and but you shoot them and they die. They're two wound models at toughness 4 with a 5 up invul save. That's all they have. So when you go to kill them, they die. But I can charge your home objective turn 1. That's an actual thing that I can do with them in some
Wow.
maps. Um, and because a lot of the time that I'm playing, it was one of my friends. It's a lot of me kind of teaching them like better play, and I went, I can charge your home objective right now. Pivot this model this far, and now I can't because I could fit my model through those two spots. Um, and it's just they're very fast and very able to like pressure quickly because Slanesh is fast. The fallback and charge lets you redirect your attacks where you need to go, and the reroll option on things like Keepers of Secrets makes them actually kill things. I'm really enjoying and I'm really excited to play with this attachment more.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I just need to start playing games again, but it was a combination of the completely new rules and I was just like Grotmas was like overwhelming and the work was crazy and I like kind of got out of the habit of getting my weekly games in and so now I'm like, "Oh no, I forget how to play."
I get that. I need to start playing more regularly too. There is one other thing that we got from Christmas that is exciting. Emperor Children!
Yes. Yeah, on
That
Christmas
Fulgrim
Day,
model.
James Workshop gave us a delicious looking Fulgrim model that I am very excited for.
Have you seen the Ford World Fulgrim
Yeah.
Transfixed? Which do you like better?
I think the Fulgrim Transfixed is cool just because he's very snake-like, but I think he wouldn't be as scary, like aesthetically. Well, let's pull them both up.
I had a couple of like debates with people like they really like the Fulgrim Transfixed and they would rather just pay the extra bit to get him or get a recast version of him. Um, but
Fulgrim
I
Transfixed
like the
wing.
new Fulgrim model.
I'll say this: the new Fulgrim has pretty boring wings. Like his wings literally look like any big Tyrannid. They just kind of look like Angron's wings, a little open more. Whereas Fulgrim Transfixed has that long ass. Is that a spear? What's he holding? Like a huge spear, and then those big old wings are they're very interesting looking. Like it's a more dynamic pose. It's not just the boom. I mean, it's literally the smoked cleared boss fight music starts kind of pose, which I think is going to be more like bold on the table. But I like the new one. I would rather die than paint resin. So
Yeah, I've seen the official like ship shipment of the Fulgrim Transfix, and it is so many little tiny pieces of resin that have to get like perfectly flushed to be able to sit properly.
yeah, no, thank you.
Such a pain in the ass. It would be worth it, but also it's like a $300 model.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Well, did you have anything else you wanted to touch on today? This is our first one back, so we're kind of winging it.
Yeah, it's the first one back in a while, and well, I'm sure it's not news to a lot of the people. Most of this project's reach has been through TikTok, which might be going away in a few weeks. Fingers crossed it won't. Maybe we figure out a VPN way to post, but it's not going to be, I mean, it would not be nearly as regularly. Um, because I know I can't do any of the workarounds on an iOS device, which is what I post on. So there's ways that like we're gonna work on some new stuff, but we're also working on expanding Glittervoid's other presence. I'm trying to post more regularly on my Instagram and my YouTube channel, which are both Titan of Joy with underscores. Um, and I'm on Blue Sky, and yeah, we're kind of nothing is even close to the reach that the TikTok has. So if you don't, please follow me there, which will be following all of this there. We also have a Discord. Um, Show notes. Can we do a show notes thing with link to
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, so we have a Discord, we have a website. There's going to be a list in the description that's going to have both all of Jubilee's social medias, including the YouTube, the Instagram. Do I have your Instagram on there? I'll get your Instagram on there. As well as my TikTok. I'm under there as Rampant DNA on everything. Uh, I also am on Blue Sky. And my as I describe it, is my show notes is my unhinged rants into the void on Twitter because I do still technically have a Twitter.
Whoa,
I don't know why
old
I do it.
school.
Um, yeah, old school. I will still call it Twitter. Um, and then there's also a link to our merch store, and on that website there is a link to our Discord. Um, I
Tiny
am
little icon
yeah.
way at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, it's a link thing. I'm gonna see if I can get that move to be a little bit more prominent. But it's been a minute. So yeah,
But yeah, we're building a really fun community on there. It's a lot of it's a but the most of the moderators are people that have been my moderators for several years at least. We have a bunch of absolute beginners with Warhammer. It's people like I think someone today literally just posted their very first painted full unit. And then there's people like Deena and I have been painting for years. I'm sorry I mentioned us in the same breath. I won't do it again. But it's very beginner friendly. It's very queer friendly because in case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of queer people in this podcast. It might be 100%. Might be.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm straight as an arrow.
Well, it's that's the straightest non-binary person to ever exist.
Hey, have you heard that? Uh, what is it? I am so gay, I actually wrap around to being straight. Because every non binary person has their own unique expression of gender. And therefore, there cannot be another person who has the same expression of gender as I do. Therefore, I can only be attracted to someone with a different gender expression. Therefore, I am straight.
Therefore, you're straight. See, I do it different. I think non-binary is double gay. No, or non
I'm
NB for
so
NB
gay.
is double gay.
I am so gay, it wraps around.
Oh my god, we're doing discourse. No, run away.
Queer discourse on our Warhammer podcast? Imagine that.
Well,
All
normally
right.
this is the
Well,
part where we plug all of our stuff, but that's kind of what this last little section is. Please go follow us on there because this is a lot of fun and we want to keep doing it. Want to keep putting unhinged, weird Warhammer stuff out there, and we will definitely not wait 2 months before posting another podcast. Hey, if TikTok's not around, I'm
please
gonna
fill
have a
me
lot
one
more
more.
time.
Fair. But so what's that thing that we were saying again? Plastic within.
Plastic without. Bye. We did it.